Welcome to your very last keywords and concepts video for the whole term. Aren't you gonna be sad? All right, so we've learned all about stress. Let's learn about coping with stress because that's way more fun to talk about. So coping are mental and behavioral efforts that we use to deal with problems relating to stress. Some are good, some are bad, some are kind of in between. So let's look at a couple of different kinds. There's problem-focused coping. And this typically involves identifying the problem, considering the solutions, weighing the costs and benefits, and then selecting an alternative. So literally problem solving. You're seeing whatever your issue is, whatever your stress is, as a problem to be solved. You seek to go out and solve it, and that helps you cope. This is different than emotion-focused coping, which focuses on efforts to change or reduce the negative emotions associated with stress. So in this type of coping, you're not actually trying to change the problem that you're having, you're trying to change your reaction to it. You're trying to make yourself less stressed out about it. This is probably good for things that you can't change, like say a new job, that kind of thing where you're very stressed out. You just need to learn ways to figure out to calm yourself down so that you're not having this overreaction to the same thing over and over again. And we get into biofeedback, which is awesome and from the 70s and a great way to learn how to control your stress. So it's a technique that uses electronic equipment to measure your neuromuscular and autonomic activity. They actually hook you and your brain up to a little machine and you can see like a little readout of what's going on in your brain. The idea being that if you can see what your body is doing, it makes it easier for you to change it. So if you can watch a little monitor that has your heart rate on it, and you focus on that little monitor, you can start to lower your heart rate. Aren't humans fascinating? I know. So that's biofeedback. Let's move on to the next slide. What are we trying to get here? We're trying to get to happiness, right? And how are we defining that? For the purposes of this class, we are defining it as an enduring state of mind consisting of joy, contentment, and other positive emotions, plus the sense that one's life has meaning and value. You can't just be stupidly happy all the time. You know what I mean? You can't just be like, I'm an upbeat, positive person, and it doesn't matter what happens to me, I'm just going to be upbeat and positive. You have to think that your life's going somewhere, that your life has meaning, it has value, in order to be content in the world, right? And one of the ways that we learn how to do this more efficiently is through positive psychology. It's literally the science of happiness. These are the folks who are looking at psychology and saying, hey, how can we use the information we know about the human brain and the human psyche to figure out how to make us all better people? Happier people, less stressed out people, great people. That is the goal of positive psychology. And then within that, you learned about a positive psychologist named Csikszentmihalyi, which I'm not making you learn his name because it's very hard to spell. But he describes something known as flow, which I guarantee every single one of you have experienced. So flow is the particular experience that is so engaging and so engrossing that it becomes worth doing for its own sake. So often we'll think of this as being in the groove or in the flow, right? A flow state, you literally lose track of time. Hours can go by and you don't even notice because you're so engrossed in that particular activity. Your heart rate goes down, your blood pressure comes down, you're incredibly focused. And often if somebody pulls you out of that state, you're not happy about it because you're usually quite content when you're in that state. So that's a flow state. All right, guys, that is your very last keywords and concepts video for the semester. Congrats!